Okay, how did you two bond? Was it very quickly? Did it take a while? What was that like for the two of you?
I mean, I hope I speak for both of us when I say I think it was pretty instant because
Yeah.
we were mutuals on social media before. So it was sort of like a person hopping out of a computer screen type thing, and we had like multiple calls. And then I also think this goes back to the episode in and of itself that like there's so many similar experiences the both of us have and have
Mhm.
in growing up, and that like even though we like have different niche like industries, we've had to go through all of the same hoops to sort of exist. And then also we're like
Yeah.
this age. So I think that it was pretty.
Yeah, the parallels were numerous, and connecting was really easy. But also, like, I think Brie Larson and the entire Culture House production team created a really safe space to be very vulnerable. I think for me, as somebody that was only a second time director, and then for Sophia being one of a handful of people that were expected to share their life story, really did have to create a special space where you felt comfortable enough doing that. And I think because of it, it made the kind of bonding and process that much easier because everyone was really intentional and thoughtful about making sure that people felt supported. And so, yeah, it created another level of ease.
But Yara, how is she to direct? Because she
Just a
kind of knows how to
nightmare.
direct herself. And so the idea that, that you would tell her, now let's try this way. How is that? Is that difficult?
Oh, so difficult. No, I'm kidding. I think because we had such a naturally aligned story and we had all of these calls before, there was this kind of agreement about what we wanted to communicate. We weren't flying in blind. And I think it was important. The reason why this episode really spoke to me was because there was such natural alignment that there was no reason to micromanage. And it was really about, creating the right environments and doing that pre-work so that when we got there, it felt comfortable enough to just be able to be in the moment and be present. Even the conversation where we go back to Sophia talking to camera, sometimes you can hear my voice, sometimes you can't, but that was, I don't know, a 2-hour conversation between us that ebbed and flowed. And as much as we had certain things that we wanted to hit, it was really about being present to figure out what would come from that. And every day we adjusted what we'd shoot the next day. So even though we had the natural shape of it, we really allowed the story to speak for itself and realized it would only be a disservice if we came in trying to tweak little things.
Sophia, when you're in that big room with all the other heroes, how daunting is that?
It was not. It actually wasn't. I mean, it wasn't at all. So one of the great things is that like we had all done the same exact thing. And I was like maybe the fifth or sixth person to like tell a story because we would essentially like take turns telling the story over the span of a week. And because we realized like Athena was the first person to tell her story, and immediately afterwards we were like, oh my God, like we went through all of the same things, like not necessarily like the very specific things, but the fact that like I also had issues with body dysmorphia growing up because we had grown up on social media, got Instagram for the first time when I was 11 years old. So I think that it was a very, very welcoming and great experience solely because we're all sort of like age mates. We're like between the age of like, I think like 19 and 23 or something. And that we've all gone through these similar experiences. And we're like, oh, I went through that too. And we're like creating these interpersonal connections that I think are very meaningful.
Is Grownish now your favorite show of all times?
It's going to seem like I'm holding you hostage. No,
I love Grownish. I love Grownish. I have many favorite sitcoms.
Yeah.
Did I say yes? Is that like the correct answer?
That's the correct answer, right? Isn't that the way it rolls?
Grownish is my favorite TV show, and Yara Shahidi is my favorite actor/director of all time.
I'm saving this clip and using it for my resume.
Right. Isn't it great? Well, you guys, thank you so much. And congratulations on, I think, a very moving series that kids can learn a lot from. So thank you so much for doing it.
Thank you.
Thank you.